I've always wanted to come to Boston. I've been in New England so many times, never made it to Boston. Unbelievable. My first time in the city of the Patriots. Okay, we made it to Boston, Massachusetts. It's a very quick hour 45 minutes from New London, and now we're here. So we checked into the hotel, we parked the car in a garage, and now we're gonna go exploring. I like to explore on foot and by Uber, and it's just a lot easier. You don't have to deal with parking all the time and stuff like that. That's how I like it. So let's get to know the city of Boston. We just jumped on this Uber and we're gonna go for a little quick drive through Boston, and then we're gonna start the tour at the Boston Common. Okay, so we got off the Uber and we're gonna start our tour right here on the oldest park in America. It was the year of 1630 when it all began. At that time, there was a man called William Blackstone. He was the first European that owned this land. He arrived in Massachusetts Bay around 1623, and by the year of 1625 all of the members of his colonization attempt had returned to England before the winter of 1625. Blackstone decided to stay, and he lived alone for the next 5 years in this area. So it was in the year of 1930 when Blackstone decided to write a letter to the Puritan group, which was led by Isaac Johnson, whose colony at the time was Charleston, and they had a problem with fresh water. So Blackstone advertised the excellent natural springs of this area and invited Johnson's group to come settle with him on it. Then, in the year of 1634, the governor purchased the land through a one-time tax on residents amounting to 6 shillings, around $50 today per person. And then those 44 acres became the town commons of Boston, and today form the bulk of Boston Common. Just to finalize the little tour that we're doing on this park, during the course of its history, many important things happened, such as in 1768, the hated British redcoats camped here for 8 years. George Washington, John Adams, and General Lafayette came here to celebrate the nation's independence. In the 1860s, they recruited soldiers for the Civil War, and they held anti-slavery meetings right here on this park. Anti-Vietnam War and civil rallies were held, include one led by Martin Luther King Jr. in 1979, and there was a mass by Pope John Paul II right here on this park as well. The Boston Common of today continues to be a stage for free speech and public assembly. If you come to the park, remember to stop by the Visitor Center and pick up a copy or a brochure created by the Friends of the Public Garden that has a detailed park's history in it, and it's very interesting. Alright, so we're done with the park now. We're gonna head up to the Freedom Trail, which starts right here in front of the Visitor Center in the park, and we have to follow this brick line on the floor. You can see the brick line turns on the corner there and goes the other way. All you gotta do is follow this brick line all the way through Boston. And that's where it starts, right there on the front of the Visitor Information Center. When you walk out the door with the brochure and the little map that they give you, just follow this brick line and 3 miles of 350-year history. So many things to see. There is no way we can fit all in the video, but I think it's going to be amazing. So I'm waiting for Maggie to get out of there with the map, and that's where we're going next. Okay, now we're following the brick line on the Freedom Trail, and to my left we have the Granary Burying Ground. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in the United States. I think it's the third oldest, I'm not sure, but it was founded in 1660, and there's a lot of important people buried in this cemetery. It's very old. Some of the very important people that are buried here includes people who signed the Declaration of Independence, people like Samuel Adams, John Hancock, and Robert Payne. The cemetery has about 2,345 graves, but some of them is missing the names of the people. I think the stones are so old that some of the names are wiped out, and I don't know who they are, but there's a lot of important names here, like Paul Revere, people who fought the Revolutionary War, and other people as well, like colonizers. And this is old, guys. This is old stuff. Kind of crazy that this place exists right in the heart of Boston, but that's a cemetery and it's preserved and it's very historic and it's a cool place to be, you know. If you love history, you would love to come to this place and just take a look around. Only takes about a couple minutes, you know, and you feel the weight of history here in this place. Okay, so we're done with the cemetery for now, and now we're continuing to follow the brick line, and let's see what's next. Look at this one, amphibious. Liberty Teresa. Cool thing, those amphibious. Okay, now we are at the King's Chapel. Unfortunately, I can't go inside because I have Luna, but Oliver and Maggie, they went inside to check it out, and it's a Christian Unitarian congregation affiliated with the Unitarian Universalist Association, that is Unitarian Christian in theology and congregational in governance. It's a beautiful building, big stones. Actually, I'm filming the other side of the street, but let me see if I can get a pic of it. Okay, there it is, guys. There it is. The King's Church in Boston. Beautiful building, very nice. And the Omni is next door. We're continuing on the brick line, and this is the old City Hall in Boston. It's a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous building. We're just walking by. We're walking right in front of it. We're not going in. There's the steakhouse sign. I think it's in a steakhouse inside or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're just going to skip this thing and continue down the street, see if we can find something more interesting. Okay. Yeah, so the problem is if I don't walk, Luna doesn't walk. She waits for me and, you know, she just won't walk, and Ollie can drag her, so it's a problem. But we are here in the heart of Boston. There's another church. I think we're going to go check it out. There's a lot of art in Boston. There's a lot of statues, sculptures, and memorials. This one is the Great Irish Famine Memorial in Boston, and you can see that the basket of food is empty and the children are desperate. And right next, there is another one about the Irish famine. It's on the same plaza and it's part of the memorial. The kids barefoot. Very dramatic, very dramatic. Look at her face, she's starving. There you have it, a memorial of the Great Hunger that happened in Ireland between 1845 and 1852. People had no food to eat. The cool thing about Boston is that there are newer buildings all around, but there are some really old buildings too, like that brick building all the way down there, where is now a Chipotle restaurant. That was built in 1718. It was a house and a apothecary, and then it became the old corner bookstore, and now today is a Chipotle. And this brick building here is the old State House, also known as the Old Provincial State House. It was also built in 1713. It was basically the seat of colony government between 1713 and 1776. One of the oldest public buildings in America. And of course, all around it is full of modern buildings. The streets are very busy, full of people and very touristic. Now we are at Quincy Market. It's a food market in Boston that's been around since 1824. It was built by Mayor Josiah Quincy. He had an office right across the street from this place, and the old market was a total mess and could no longer handle the city's capacity to distribute food. And then Quincy realized that they needed a new market. He came in with his plan and built this beautiful building, which at the time was a state of the art, and in my opinion still state of the art today. And it's huge. It has a lot of food suppliers inside that still supply food to Boston. A lot of companies, a lot of eateries, a lot of restaurants. Locals still come down here for food. In this plaza around the Quincy Market, it's usually full of artists playing guitars and performing arts, stuff like that. So it's a great place to visit in Boston. You can spend a lot of time visiting inside and all of these places here that are basically individual stores, restaurants, souvenir shops, all that stuff. But I enjoyed having, spending some time here, eating here and watching street performers perform certain arts. And so let's go check it out inside. Quincy Market. This area here is where all the food vendors are. There's a lot of different types of food, some local, some foreigner, a lot of interesting stuff here. Boston Chowder. This building has served the people of Boston as the central market of the city since its dedication in August 1826. So there you go. There's a restaurant up there, tables, chairs, beautiful place, very cool place to come grab a bite and spend some time, drink some ale. Look at that staircase that leads upstairs. It's curved as well. This is like a ballroom here. Very cool. Looks like there's some cool country music going on in this restaurant right here. This is Kevin White, former mayor of Boston. He is more of a modern day mayor. He was mayor from 1968 to 1984, so 4 terms he served. Okay, so now we left the Quincy Market area, which was a really interesting area, and we're continuing to follow the brick line. The brick line is on our left. You can see the brick line right there. We're following it, and this is more like an old part of Boston where all the buildings are brick buildings and there's a lot of restaurants. Really cool area, this area. I really like it. Wow, here's a really old one for you. Union Oyster House. Opened to the public in 1826 and is among the oldest operating restaurants in the United States. And the building itself, the building before it became a restaurant, it was built in 1714, so it's way older. This area is very old. A lot of the buildings in this area was constructed in the beginning of the 1700s, which was 1704 and up, even older. Some buildings are even older than that, but most of them 1704 and up. This part here has a lot of Italian restaurants. Seems to be like an Italian part of Boston. You can see the Ristorante on the other side. There's a grocery store here. Apparently very popular. A lot of people are waiting to get in. There's so many people inside that the other people have to wait outside before they go into the store. So seems to be a very popular place. There's also a lot of Irish. Boston has a lot of Irish people. Wow, look at that beautiful building. That's a beautiful corner building, and the awning on this side looks really cool too. Where's the brake line? Okay, the brake line turns and continues right here. All right, now the brake line has brought us to the equestrian statue of Paul Revere. There you have it, Paul Revere, the great American patriot and revolutionary on a horse. He was born in North Boston in 1735. He was a silversmith. And a side shot of the Paul Revere on a horse statue. Okay, let's continue down the brick line to the next point of interest. Is it? And the brick line, which turns red over here, leads to the North Church. It's an Episcopal church built in 1723. It's the oldest church building in Boston, and it's a historic landmark. So it's a very old church, and it's still open to the public. I think they collect a little fee for preservation. The Preservation Society asks for a little fee to maintain the building and stuff like that, but it's a cool place to visit as well. And the brick line, which turns red in this area, cuts right through it. And this is the front of the church, and all brick building in this area, all brick building from the 1700s. The Freedom Trail, Copp's Hill Burying Ground. Let's do it. I am enjoying every step I take on this Freedom Trail. Everything is so beautiful. The city is exceptionally clean. Look at this. Look around. Except for the leaves, this fall right now. There's no garbage whatsoever. Everything is beautifully decorated for Halloween, and it's a very pleasant walk. I think the whole thing is about 3 miles long or 5 miles, I'm not sure, but I can do this all day. Now we arrived at this plaza, which is the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, made of granite. It was a sculpture made by Martin Milmore, commemorating the men of Charleston who fought to preserve the Union during the American Civil War. And this is the Bunker Hill Monument, honoring the soldiers that died in the Bunker Hill battle during the American Revolution.
Giggly! Giggly! Mama, rip my thorn out! What? No, I said rip me out!
filming the streets a little bit just so you can see how beautiful this part of Boston is. And by the way, we're still following the brake line, which you can see right here on the floor. Look at that. Halloween decor, really nice. Beautiful, beautiful area, this area. This house added some cool Halloween decor here. The Witches of Salem.
The 4 witches.
The numbers, but
Okay, enough of Halloween fun. Let's continue the walk down the brick line. I think we're going to the downtown part where the port is located. There's a wooden ship over there. Let's go check it out.
Where does it finish?
Right there, the USS Constitution Museum. USS Constitution. Look at those cannons.
That side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Huge job.
Like turn around and go up and down like a regular ladder.
We are walking on the deck of USS Constitution.
Okay, let's go inside. Spacious.
The USS Constitution is the oldest naval warship still afloat in the world. It was built in 1794 by a builder named Edmund Hart's shipyard, and it cost about $300,000 to build the ship at the time.
There's this thing where you're allowed to pick up the cannonball.
Okay.
The ship is about 304 feet long and is 43 feet wide, and the mast is 175 feet from the waterline, and it draws about 21 feet of water. This ship carried 44 very, very big guns. Look at the size of the cannonball.
You sure?
Ollie's gonna try to pick up
Try
this
it.
cannonball. It's extremely heavy. God forbid this thing hits anything.
Let me try.
It had a lot of power. Yes, very heavy cannonball right there. And they had some smaller ones. I think the 44 gun frigate is the 44 really big guns, and then they had a bunch of other smaller guns on the top deck and other areas as well.
Whatever.
I think that the total amount of guns was actually 54 guns. They had some extra guns inside. I guess these are living quarters, some space where people hung out and had lunch, dinner, or slept. Looks more like a horse stable with the windows like that. But I see some hammocks. Well, there's pipes in there and some dining tables and chairs. Yeah, a mast support in the middle. Let's check out this one inside. This one has a hammock inside. Seems like an important officer's bedroom. Yeah, this is the steering system, I think. It's a bunch of ropes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think that's the steering system. But this area here looks more like the people who were in command of the ship. The rooms seems to be more important than the crew and the soldiers. You can see it's very elegant and fancy, and has doors so other people couldn't come in. So I think it was like first mate, second mate, third mate, and carpenters, you know, very important people that worked on the ship. I think that's the area where they, you know, inhabited.
There's like 2 more floors.
Yeah, I know, it's super deep.
And this area here seems more like a sailor's area. You know, a bunch of hammocks hanging from the ceiling like that. It's usually where sailors slept. This massive ship right here has fought many battles, including the Battle of 1812. It destroyed a British ship and came back to Boston victorious. Apparently, the ship has won almost every battle that it fought. Very massive ship. You see the thickness of this thing? You're not gonna believe it, how thick it is.
Let's go over here. On this side.
Go, Ale, you first. Good job.
Okay, let's go take a look on the outside of the ship a little bit. Looking compared to other ships, I find this ship, you know, for the size of it, to be very sleek, and I think it was very fast. Look, very low profile, a lot of guns, and I think it was very fast at the time. This sculpture is by Michael Alfano and it's right here in the Navy shipyard in Charleston. I don't know what it means, but I know it's part of sculptures that he made called Of Many Minds. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so seems like the shipyard is the end of the Freedom Trail, at least the part that we did, and we're done with it. So I guess the plan now is to jump one of those dock the bus or dock the amphibios and go for a tour around the waterways of Boston. I think that's gonna be very cool to do. So that's what's in the plan next, and that'll be it for the tour of Boston, and we're going home after that. So let's go check out the bus tour.
Home in 1861. It's super popular, and now everybody knows Paul Revere. And today, most people think of Paul Revere as the guy who shouted, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" He never actually said that. Back in 1775, everyone was still British. Wouldn't make sense till the British are coming. Like today, we were driving around yelling, "The Bostonians are coming!" Hey, Junior, hit that black button next to the phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
There we go. On our right is the campus of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, one of the best science and engineering schools anywhere in the world. Further upriver is another bridge. That's the Harvard Bridge. Harvard Bridge doesn't actually go to Harvard. It goes to MIT. Very smart bridge. Loves math. Behind the Harvard Bridge is a white sign with a red triangle on the Citgo sign, Kenmore Square, right next to Fenway Park, where the Boston Red Sox play. All right, Junior, great job. Here's your thing back. Thank you very much. All right, let's subscribe.
Thank you very much.
All right, right over here. Come on up. In the skyline, we got 3 all of Boston. Building first to the right with the flat roof. That's One Dolphin Place. Third tallest building in Boston. Building next to it with the antenna on top. That's the Prudential Tower. Second tallest building. What's your name? Estelle, thinks so.
So, as you can see, I got to drive the bus a little bit. Of course, the lady captain was very nervous. She doesn't know how good I am with these things. So she was a little nervous going under the bridge over there trying to hold the wheel for me. But it was a nice experience, you know, you feel the wheel a little bit and you get to drive the bus. They let you do it. And the guide that was telling the history about Boston and all of that was really cool, and he was really knowledgeable. So it was a very nice tour. I recommend it.
On the right is a statue of Alexander Hamilton.
All right, so our tour of Boston is finally over. It's time to go home now, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you make your trip to Boston sometime soon. Okay, cheers. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Come out this way. Thank you very much, man. Let me get the doggy. Oh.
There's dinner in the yard, out behind the cars. Tonight we're gonna do something different. I will make the things that I know how to make. You will make something more delicious. A sweet potato pie on a flimsy paper plate. Baby, I don't think it gets much better. There isn't much to keep. We lay down and fall asleep till the morning comes around to find love. I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes. I was hoping that you might wanna talk to me. Card table outside, still sitting there. It's been so long, barely holds together. You can't really say what's coming tomorrow. You can only feel the changing weather. One day I'll not call if you were there at all. Maybe it was something like a dream. There isn't much to keep. Tonight I hope I fall asleep till the morning comes around to find me. Oh, I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes. But I was hoping that you might wanna talk